A City Bleeds, The Fall of Paramedic Graham Hoffman. In the heart of Kansas City, a chilling tragedy unfolded. Graham Hoffman, a 29-year-old paramedic with the Kansas City Fire Department, was brutally murdered. His life was stolen inside the very ambulance he used to save others. The suspect, Shanetta Boswell, 39, now stands accused of this heinous act. Days before, she walked free on bail. A dark omen ignored. The charge then? Allegedly biting a police officer. Give a like and subscribe. Leave a comment. The early morning hours painted a grim picture on a lonely highway. Boswell was found wandering, her hand bleeding, a prelude to the horror to come. Initially, she refused help, a dance with fate she seemed determined to lead. She eventually relented, agreeing to be transported to the hospital. But within the confines of that ambulance, a sanctuary of healing, darkness erupted. Boswell allegedly unleashed a savage attack on Hoffman. The ambulance, now a vessel of terror, careened off the road. Responding officers arrived to find Hoffman bleeding profusely from his chest, his lifeblood staining the sterile interior. Boswell, far from remorseful, continued her rampage, fighting the very officers who sought to restrain her. She attempted to commandeer the ambulance, turning it into a weapon. In a final act of defiance, she bit an officer on the arm, a grotesque echo of her previous crime. Graham Hoffman was pronounced dead at a nearby hospital, his life extinguished far too soon. Shanetta Boswell, a name now synonymous with violence and tragedy, is 39 years old. Her arrest on April 23 for allegedly biting a police officer foreshadowed the depravity to come. She was charged with second-degree assault and resisting arrest, offenses that should have kept her contained. Boswell posted a mere $10,000 bond and was released back into society, a fatal misjudgment. Adding to her disturbing history, she was cited for a hit-and-run incident on March 31st, a pattern of reckless disregard for human life emerging. Boswell now faces the full weight of the law, charged with first-degree murder. She is being held on a $1 million bond, a sum that reflects the gravity of her alleged crime. Additional charges of resisting arrest and third-degree assault further compound her legal woes. The Clay County Prosecutor's Office has taken the lead, vowing to bring justice for Graham Hoffman. But can justice truly be served when a life so full of promise has been so senselessly taken? Graham Hoffman, just 29 years old, dedicated his life to serving others. He joined the Kansas City Fire Department in 2022, eager to make a difference. He was described as compassionate, caring, loving, and a natural leader, qualities that shone brightly in his chosen profession. Hoffman was a dedicated professional, driven by a genuine desire to help those in need. He loved serving his city, answering emergency calls with unwavering commitment. His loss leaves a void that can never be filled. The ambulance, once a symbol of hope and healing, is now a crime scene, forever tainted by violence. Hoffman, a lifesaver, became a victim, a cruel twist of fate that defies comprehension. The community mourns the loss of a dedicated professional, a young man who embodied the spirit of service. Hoffman committed his life to answering emergency calls, rushing into danger when others fled. His sacrifice will not be forgotten, but the pain of his absence will linger for years to come. This tragedy serves as a stark reminder of the risks faced by first responders every day. How did this happen? How did a woman with a history of violence, a clear and present danger to society, slip through the cracks? The bail system, designed to ensure justice, seemingly failed to protect Graham Hoffman. A decision to release Boswell on such a low bond raises serious questions about the priorities of our legal system. Was the safety of the community adequately considered? Or was bureaucratic indifference a contributing factor to this tragedy? Graham Hoffman's death must be a catalyst for change. We must demand greater accountability from our elected officials and those responsible for public safety. The bail system needs to be reformed, ensuring that violent offenders are not released back into the community to commit further harm. We must also provide better support and resources for our first responders, who face increasing dangers on the job. They deserve our unwavering support and protection. Their safety is paramount. The impact of Graham Hoffman's death extends far beyond his immediate family and friends. It reverberates throughout the Kansas City Fire Department and the entire community. His colleagues are left to grapple with the trauma of losing a brother in arms. The community is left to mourn the loss of a dedicated public servant. This tragedy shakes our faith in the system and leaves us questioning the safety of our streets. The ripple effect of this senseless act will be felt for years to come. Let us remember Graham Hoffman not as a victim, but as a hero. He dedicated his life to serving others, and his compassion and selflessness will never be forgotten. His legacy will live on in the lives he touched and the community he served. Let us honor his memory by working to create a safer and more just society. Let us demand accountability from our leaders and support our first responders. Let us never forget the sacrifice of Graham Hoffman. Beyond the physical violence, there are unseen wounds that fester in the aftermath of such a tragedy. The mental and emotional toll on first responders is immense. They are constantly exposed to trauma, and the cumulative effect can be devastating. We must provide adequate mental health support for our first responders, ensuring they have access to the resources they need to cope with the stresses of their job. Their well-being is essential to their ability to serve our community. Indifference is a dangerous disease that can erode the very fabric of our society. When we turn a blind eye to violence and injustice, we become complicit in the suffering of others. Graham Hoffman's death is a stark reminder of the price of indifference. We must be vigilant in our pursuit of justice and unwavering in our support for those who protect us. We must demand accountability from our leaders and hold them responsible for creating a safe and just society. Kansas City is a city in mourning. The loss of Graham Hoffman has left a deep wound in the heart of our community. We grieve with his family, friends, and colleagues. We stand in solidarity with the Kansas City Fire Department. We will never forget Graham Hoffman's sacrifice. We will honor his memory by working to create a better future for our city. We will strive to be a community that values compassion, justice, and service. The questions linger, unanswered and unsettling. Could this tragedy have been prevented? What more could have been done to protect Graham Hoffman? These questions demand answers, not for the sake of blame, but for the sake of prevention. We must learn from this tragedy and take steps to ensure that it never happens again. We owe it to Graham Hoffman, to his family, and to our community to do everything in our power to prevent future acts of violence. This is not just a story of tragedy. It is a call to action. We must demand change. We must demand accountability. And we must demand justice. We must honor Graham Hoffman's memory by working to create a safer and more just society for all. Let us stand together, united in our grief and our determination to make a difference. Let us never forget the sacrifice of Graham Hoffman. Let his death be a catalyst for change. Graham Hoffman's life may have been cut short, but his legacy will endure. He will be remembered as a hero, a dedicated public servant, and a compassionate human being. His spirit will live on in the hearts of those who knew and loved him. Let us honor his memory by striving to be better versions of ourselves. Let us emulate his compassion, his selflessness, and his commitment to service. Let us never forget the lessons we have learned from his tragic death. Goodbye, Graham Hoffman. Your sacrifice will not be forgotten. Your memory will live on. May you rest in peace. Your city mourns you.